Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch The Rings of Power Season 1, Episode 7. Before beginning this episode, I want to talk about the bad comments that this show is receiving since the beginning, almost since the beginning, no, not almost, since the beginning. I want to talk about it because, you know, for the first bad reviews that this show had about the characters, about the persons who were chosen to play some characters, I already talked about it. These racist comments were racist comments. Some of them were really abused. Some of them were hidden, you know, behind fans' reasons, which were not fans' reasons, which were really racist reasons. But you know, some people, they can be sneaky. I'm not gonna talk about it like it was already too much to have that kind of comments. And yes, I deleted all of them on my channel. You can't talk like that. It's not allowed to have racist comments and to have comments, you know, with discriminations, all forms of discrimination. So I'm not gonna come back to this kind of comments. I want to come back more to the comments which are made really by fans. I talked a little about it because some of these comments are made by hardcore fans. You know, the fans who are gonna be really like, I want things to be done like it's supposed to be done, like it is on the books, and that's all. I want everything which is on the books. These hardcore fans, I already talked about it also. I think that no matter what, they're gonna be disappointed. They're gonna be disappointed because no matter what, this show can't do everything like the books and can't also like translate everything from the books into the show. It was a case already for the movies. It's a case for all of the things, you know, which was at the basic thing, you know, a book, when you are translating it on screen for television, for a show, or on theater for a movie, these hardcore fans, they can't be anything but disappointed. These fans' bad comments, the hardcore ones, I talked about it, but sometimes, you know, you have some regular fans. I don't know how to describe it in another way, but I think that you understood who I put into the hardcore fans, the ones who are not gonna accept any change, and more the regular fans, they are okay to accept some changes, they are okay for the show to take some liberties, but even them, they are making some bad comments because some liberties, some choices taken are not okay for them, and I can understand that. And I'm beginning maybe to have not a bad review about this show, but a bad review about one choice that this show is gonna take. I'm gonna talk about it right there. You know, for some of these people, the bad choices that this show took and which are not okay with them and are okay with all of the other choices, all of the other liberties that the show is taken, for some of them it's gonna be about putting Arrondir right there into the chronology. It's not working. For some of them it's gonna be about this stranger being Gandalf. It's not okay also with the chronology. For me, I said it would be too obvious, so I hope that it's gonna be something else, someone else. So we're gonna have a big reveal, so we're gonna have a surprise really at the end of this quest, you know, of this mystery, who is a stranger. I hope that we're gonna have a reveal at the end. For some of them it's gonna be about Galadriel. Some people, they consider that Galadriel can't be a fighter like that, is maybe too cold also, you know, stuff like that. So for some people, some liberties are gonna be okay, some choices are gonna be okay, but some others are not gonna be. And so far, I was okay with all of these liberties that the writers took. I was okay with their choices and all. And I'm beginning to not be okay with one. let's talk about it. For me, it's gonna be about the character of Halbrand. I think that you saw during the last episode that I thought that maybe they created that character to be, to be Theo's dad. Like, for me, this character, he needs to connect with the big story at some point. And because of the fact that we add Theo and is beginning to be more important, because of the fact that we have that mystery around who is his dad, because of a lot of stuff, I thought that maybe he would be Theo's dad. I think that I can erase that theory with what happened at the end of the last episode when they met, Brownyn and Halbrand. It felt like it was the first time that they met, so maybe I need to erase that theory. I think that you can understand with the words that I choose that I did not erase it like fully. Like, maybe there is still 2% of me who is like, maybe, let's wait. But Halbrand, I know that since episodes, almost since the beginning, a lot of people are considering that it's gonna be Sauron. I know the story behind Sauron, how it disappeared and all, who is supposed to be, and I know that yes, for a lot of viewers, for a lot of fans, Halbrand is Sauron. I'm not okay with that idea because of the fact that for me it's not functioning with the character that the writers are describing, are imagining right there. And for me, Halbrand, this character, how it's done, into this show, could be one of the kings, who is gonna have the ring, or could do other stuff, into the Southlands. Like, I can imagine other mysteries around this character. So I'm not okay with that idea because of the character which is created on screen by the writers, but also because for the character that I want for Sauron, for what I think of Sauron, for the lore, the mystic stuff, like, it's really a character, Sauron, that I was gonna say I respect a lot. It's not the word to use for that, but all of the mythology created around that character, for me, is so big, is so important, that you can't create a character like Halbrand and make him Sauron, after a certain time, something like that. You can't also make him, a romantic character. I mean by that, not a romantic like involved into romance, involved into love stories. No, I'm saying really like a romantic character, like into in France, I don't know if in other languages it's the case or not. We are seeing romantic stories that are different than romance stories. It's really romantic stories. It's a stories which are written to be epic, with characters which are deep, into the epic stuff, into the heroic stuff. I hope that you understand what I mean by that. For me, the character of Halbrand is written for that, to be a romantic character, to be someone who is gonna do epic stuff, to be someone who is gonna be involved into the big story. So for me, it would be a nonsense total to use him to be Sauron, and for the character of Sauron, it wouldn't be logical and it wouldn't be good, for Sauron background to have a character like Halbrand. Like, really, I'm considering the two things like that. I'm not okay with that theory, I'm not okay with that idea, Halbrand in fact being Sauron, because of the character of Halbrand for me is written for something else, and because of the character of Sauron, for me, was such a mystic aspect, a mythology behind him, something like a Nora, like really like that. So it can't be Halbrand behind it, it can't be that background, I mean, written like that, described like that, presented like that on screen, it wouldn't be okay for me. So that's why I'm saying that I'm beginning to have that bad comment, about the show, because if that theory is right. And little by little, you know, the writers, they are insisting a lot on the fact that Halbrand, he has a dark side, no one really knows him. You know what happened with Ada during the last episode? You don't remember me, you know, that moment, like they are putting a lot of clues about the fact that maybe Halbrand is Sauron, and that's why I'm saying that I'm beginning to have that bad comment. I don't have it yet because it was not confirmed that Halbrand is gonna be Sauron, so I don't want to condemn this show just like that, you know, just based on a theory. I want to be sure that that's what they're gonna do. But I'm saying it right there, I wouldn't be okay with that idea. How I consider Sauron, you know, how I'm frightened by Sauron since so long, how I want this character to be played, you know, to be shown also little by little into this show, how I want, you know, really for me Sauron, he has a strength, you know, an aura on screen. And that's why I wouldn't be okay for Halbrand to be revealed as Sauron. Do you understand what I mean? I don't know if you share my opinion about that. I saw that some people were not okay with that theory. Some people are more like, it's so obvious, how can you not see it? And I'm not sure of your opinion, you know, the people who are saying that. I'm not sure of what you think of that idea. But maybe during all of this time, I didn't consider that theory at all, because for me, it's really not working for the story, for Halbrand, for Sauron, that I couldn't accept that theory before. I'm beginning to accept that theory, that it can be right, but now I'm saying that if this theory is right, it's not gonna be okay for me. But you know, I'm not like the hardcore fans. I'm not gonna condemn the entire show because something is not pleasing me into it. I'm more gonna be like the regular fans who are okay with some choices, some liberties that this show is taking, and maybe who can disagree, disapprove some other choices, some other liberties. But see, I want to be totally honest with you guys with what I think about this show, with all of what I think about this show. Because you know it, if you are following me for other shows, I'm not a blind fan. I'm not gonna accept everything which is happening on these shows that I'm watching with you guys. Even if I love them, sometimes I can see some mistakes that they can do. Like it was the case, you know, I think that it was during the episode 2, all of these slow motions that I didn't like at all. I didn't hide it. I don't hide, you know, when I don't like things which are written or things which are filmed or stuff like that. I'm an enthusiast fan of these shows, so for sure I'm gonna like things that they're gonna do and stuff like that, but I'm not a blind fan, and I can say also when I don't agree, I don't approve things that they are doing. Tell me in which, you know, side you are. If you are an hardcore fan, you can say it in a polite way. If you are a regular fan like me, you can say it and you can tell me which things are okay for you and which things you disapprove. Maybe it would be great to share that on the comments to see really the choices which are gonna be a stop, you know, for us, which are gonna be really something like, phew, no. It's not gonna be a stop like I'm gonna stop to watch this show, but it's gonna be more a stop like I'm gonna a lot if it's happening, you know, during these scenes, during this narrative arc. If it's revealed like that, I'm gonna a lot. I'm gonna suffer, you know, that decision. I'm gonna continue to watch this show, I'm gonna continue to appreciate that show, but but it's not just that, you know, that show, and that's why I'm gonna still love it. And I can just appreciate also to have that story on screen and stuff like that, you know, to have it, to have these pictures for sure, but also to have all of the other narrative arcs and all of the other characters on screen and that I can follow. Okay, that was a long intro, but I think that we needed to talk about it together. Like, with this show, it's such, you know, divided opinions and such strong opinions that I think that we need to talk about it also, you know, about these opinions and about why people, they can think that. And as a reactor, I needed to tell you also where I'm standing right now about this show. Okay, let's stop this intro, which was really long. Let's go for this episode. Like always, if you want, you have my Patreon on which you can have this episode earlier, one day earlier, and with an extended or a full reaction part. I put only extended reaction part for now, but because it's long episodes, 1 hour episodes, they are really longer. So if you can be interested to have these advantages and also to support me, I'm saying it, September and October are really rough months already for me, you know, personally. I knew it since August that it would be difficult, and it's right, it's difficult. And also in Europe, you know, we're a little like that, waiting for the winter, like, that's gonna be difficult. So if you were hesitating, you know, to join me or not, it's maybe the right moment, and if you can't, don't blame yourself or anything, you know, it's okay, and you can support me right now on YouTube by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, that kind of stuff. Let's go for this episode 7. It's here.
Are you hurt? Stay with me.
Notamment. I'm sorry, boys, but it was predictable. Queen! Elrond, you know, the thing is that we know what is gonna happen to him, so we know that he's gonna survive 2 things each time. What?
My great-grand used to speak of mountains to the south that could spit fire rock. He said they go to sleep.
You had one of these rocks?
When
You are so close to our guys?
evil is rising.
Oh, we are really gonna reunite all of the stories.
What's he muttering?
Likely little words, so the tree will understand.
Some trees don't talk.
Some do.
But they can hear.
Don't distract him. Here he comes. Is it working?
Wait! We know that Nori is beginning to be afraid of Numenor. Stay! It was not on purpose. Oh, it's rough. This stranger, you know, all of his story is rough. It's making me sad each time.
In exchange for access to your mithril mines, the elves are prepared to furnish this city with game, grain.
Tell me, why should we trust any elf?
You should not, but you can trust me, for I am no common elf, but Elrond half-elf. That is why I stand before you now alone, pleading.
Oh, you're good. Elrond, you're so good with these diplomatic
Please,
things.
noble king. Help us.
I will not risk dwarven lives to help the elves cheat death. Cheat death? My friend is drowning, reaching for me to pull him to shore. The fate of the elves was decided many ages ago. My mind's much wiser.
Oh.
Defy
I love so much how loyal you are,
this
Durin.
entire kingdom might fall. Perhaps the entire Middle Earth.
Oh, fuck.
Galad must be informed, and soon he will no longer be a king. For there will no longer be a Lindon.
No.
So this is goodbye then.
We do not say goodbye.
See you later.
We say
No
goodbye.
matter you.
Means more than simply farewell.
Oh, Durin, you're gonna make me cry. It was a gift. What? Oh, you can see the effect of it.
Can't hit you.
He's alive. I said it, we know.
Where is he?
They're dead. Aren't they? Arrondir, my friends, my mother, everyone.
They are. Writers wouldn't have created them and so much around them just for that.
How many have you killed?
Many.
God.
I would not use such words. It darkens the heart. To call dark deeds good. It gives place for evil to thrive inside us. Even I. Even you.
My soldier then.
Did you fight?
Perhaps we can make one of you yet. How much further until we reach the encampment?
It's just beyond this horizon.
I wasn't with
How much further until
Sorry.
we clear of the smoke? How long have we been clear of it?
Nearly a mile.
He's lying.
I see.
You don't.
Do you?
Only grey. Keep walking, both of you. Guide my horse. No one need notice.
Oh, they're gonna notice, you know, at some point.
You'll find the big folk settlements on the far side. Yeah, you look. The people there can help you find your stars. Half of folk haven't seen them since the days our ancestors lived in parts unknown over 1,000 years ago. And that's a long time to wander.
It is the time to leave them. That was a thank you look. Green. You know that he has to leave.
It isn't your fault. It's mine.
We did not intend for this to happen.
I gave power to the enemy. So that makes me responsible.
Some say that is the way of things.
Yes, it was destiny, no matter what. You did not
Do not take the
intend.
burden of this day upon your shoulders, Theo. You may find it difficult to put it down again.
Thank you.
There are powers beyond darkness at work in this world. Perhaps on days such as this, we have little choice but to trust to their designs and surrender our own.
Strong. That's it.
Don't. dancing like that, you know, it reminds me something. All of these 4 little bits hiding like that.
Ashes. Nothing but ashes. Oh. Self-discipline. Bastard elf.
I think that'll bring you success.
Did in our contest.
Did it?
You lost on purpose.
To gain your ear a while longer.
Yes, and if you would have won, you know, during that moment, you would have never accepted it to be ashamed like that in front of all of your friends.
Do you have our secret names? For use only amongst ourselves. We reveal them only to family.
Elrond, you say it, Durin. To the far side.